Okay. I was waiting for the 10 o'clock bongs to strike, but they haven't, obviously. Welcome to this resources meeting. I am Councillor Jeanette Smith, Cabinet Member for Resources. Housekeeping information. If the continuous fire alarm sounds, please evacuate the room and the public gallery by the stairwells. Do not attempt to use the lifts. For today's meeting, the assembly point is King Henry the First Street by the University Building. In order to comply with the Portsmouth Cultural Trust fire marshal regulations, if you sign in, please remember to sign out when you leave the building after today's meeting. May I draw everyone's attention to the fact that this meeting will be live streamed from a camera at a fixed location at the back of the meeting room, and the recording will be on the Council's website. The camera will record footage of people entering and leaving the room while the meeting is in progress. Members of the public are also permitted to record the meeting on the understanding that it neither disrupts the meeting nor records those stating explicitly that they do not wish to be recorded. May I ask everyone to use the microphones provided when they are speaking. Now there's introductions, and I usually start with my left, but there's nobody to the left, so I will start to the right.
I'm David Penrose, Democratic Services.
Louise Wilders, Director of Community and Communications.
Wayne Layton, Finance Manager.
Catherine Iron, Property Services.
Tom Southall, Head of Property.
Thank you very much. There's no deputation request has been received, and there's been no apologies for absence. So we will continue with the meeting as it stands. Item 2 is declaration of members' interest, and I don't have any. Item 3 is the forward plan admission and the transfer of the properties to Portsmouth Community Housing Trust report by the Director of Community and Communication was omitted from the forward plan covering the 9th of November to the 1st of February 2019. The Chair of the City Council Scrutiny Management Panel has been notified and a public notice published. So the recommendation is the omission to the forward plan covering the 9th of November to the 1st of February be noted, and the publication of the omission notice be noted, and that is agreed. Item 4, transfer of properties to Portsmouth Community Housing Trust. And seeing as this is a Christmas edition of Resources, I'm delighted that if Lou, you could actually say a few words on it.
Thank you, Chair. So the proposal before you today is that a couple of properties, 1 and 3 Angerstein Road, which are co-joined at the moment, are transferred over to the new Portsmouth Community Housing Trust. The purpose of the transfer is that these properties will be used for people to support them in housing. They will be supported through our housing options service, and they will receive support whilst they are in those housing from the Community Housing Trust. The rents level set will be a social rent level, and it will take some of the pressure away from the City Council in terms of housing for local people and addressing housing needs for local people. The current properties are in a state of some dilapidation. They have been used previously by Parks, Portsmouth Abuse and Rape Counselling Service for a number of years on a peppercorn rent. They are in somewhat disrepair, and the cost of repair, etc., will be undertaken by the Housing Trust to get them into a good place for future rental opportunities. Thank you.
Finance, do you want to say anything? No?
Yeah, as Lou said, at the moment the amount of works that need carrying out on these buildings just doesn't make it kind of financially viable for the council. So the idea of transferring over this to a trust and they can do the investment, we still retain the freehold. So it's a good deal for us and for them and for the people of Portsmouth. Okay.
Property Services, do you want to say anything?
Thank you very much, Chair. Just highlight section 4.2, the reasons for the recommendations that run through the respective values, cost of works, market value of the property that obviously support this proposal. Clearly, with any lease that is granted, there are risks associated with that. Being a long lease that will be granted to the Trust, there are controls in there around the use and around assignment, etc., as you would expect, albeit that clearly the council is stepping back and allowing the trust to operate the property. So there is an element of risk. Okay, thank you very much.
This administration has been accused of being risk averse. In this case, I'm not risk adverse because it is a good development to do. The only caveat I would add is I would like to see in 2019 more properties like this coming on stream, and I think there needs to be a piece of work with property services and community to see what other properties this could lead to the same sort of transferring to a trust and making sure that we can provide family homes. So I'm delighted to support this recommendation and for this to sort of go through and this to be signed over to the trust. It's a good time of year to do this as well. It's a good time of year to do this at any point in the year, but I think this administration in 2019, our main priority is going to be dealing with the acute homelessness that's starting to happen within Portsmouth, if not already happening. The poverty that is happening around the city with certain benefits from a universal credit point of view. So these sort of projects, and though they may be small and only deal with possibly 2 families, it can spread across the city and we can help more families in their hour of need. So thank you much for the officers and hopefully this is one of many. Thank you. That means the meeting is now closed. Thank you very much.